He wants to kill all of us, every Jew, all... My lady, what will he do? If I go to the palace uninvited, I could die.
If she stays silent, deliverance could arise from another place. But who knows? What if she was brought here for such a time as this?
Gather the Jews and tell them to fast and pray for me. I will go. And if I perish, I'll perish.
That's courage. Not the absence of fear, but in choosing purpose over panic.
She steps into destiny, wearing courage like a crown.
Picture it. Persia, ancient capital. Esther is walking as if her life depends on it. Because it does. She is going into the king's throne room without an invite. This is the speak now or forever hold your breath moment.
On the third day, Esther put on her royal apparel and stood on the inner court of the king's palace. The king was sat upon his throne over against the gate.
If I have found favor in the sight of the king, let him and Haman come to the banquet which I will prepare.
God! Hurry. Go and get me that man, Haman, and let him do as the queen demands.
Hey, guys, wait. The king held out to Esther the golden scepter. And Esther drew near and touched the top of this scepter.
Just like that, her life spared, amen? The royal yes, you may leave signal.
You know, this is the life, my wife. I've told you, the king favors me more than any man in Persia. I, Haman. And you're lucky, I'm your husband, so have your seat.
Thank you.
Well, Esther, tell me, what is your petition?
If it pleases the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, let him come to the banquet which I will prepare tomorrow. Then I will do as the king commands.
Well, if that's your petition, so be it. Well, enjoy the rest of the banquet, shall we?
This is not hesitation. Oh no, this is strategy. This queen is playing chess while everybody else is still learning checkers.
Yet it avails me nothing at all. So long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king's gate.
Let gallows be made, 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak to the king that Mordecai may be hanged upon it.
I like that idea. Are you sure it will work?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it will work.
Haman had told of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and the ways in which the king himself had promoted him. He was a cool guy.
Meanwhile, the king can't sleep. No royal lullabies, no warm milk, just the chronicles.
The book of the records was read before the king, and it was found that Mordecai had told of the plot against the king's life.
What honor and dignity has been done to Mordecai?
There's nothing done for him at all. Hakuna.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Well, follow me. Who is in the court?
It's Haman. He's standing right there.
Oh, Haman. Well, Haman.
Yes, my lord.
Tell me, what shall be done to the man who the king likes to honor?
Well, for the man whom the king delights to honor, let royal apparel be brought, of which the king wears, and also the horse upon the which the king rides on, plus the crown royal which is set upon his head. Let it be lent to one of the noble princes, that they may array the man along the streets of which the king delights to honor. That is what must be done to the man whom the king likes to honor.
Well then. Make haste to do so to Mordecai, the Jew, who sits alongside the king's gate.
Yes, my lord.
Translation: give me all the royal drip and a parade. Little did he know, this thing was about to boomerang.
And that's exactly what this is. The sound of a dream shattering. Sema heartbreak. They say pride comes before a...
There he goes, as the king demanded. Yes, the man whom the king delights to honor, Mordecai, the Jew. You see him, the man whom the king delights to honor.
Haman covered his head in mourning. Because why wasn't it him? Then he hurried to his house. Oh, yeah.
Well, Esther, tell me, what's your petition?
If I have found favor in the sight of the king, grant me my life, that is my petition, and spare the lives of my people, that is my request, for we have been sold to be slain, to be killed, and to perish.
Who is he, and where is he, the man who dares to do such a thing?
The adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
What?
Time stops. Yani, even the world seemed to lean in to watch this moment.
Hey, Haman he's standing here to make requests for his life, anajifanya, he didn't do anything, you know? Because he knew there was evil determined against him by the king.
Oh, my queen, Queen Esther, please forgive me. I know I acted foolishly and I've plotted wickedness. Please forgive me, please.
But he is not pleading. He's drowning in fear. Words tumble out. Promises, apologies, and desperate bargains.
Yeah, this is the part where Makamasi is coming. His eyes are darting, heart is dying, sweat is dripping. Hey, he knows he's done for. Yani Kwisha, dead. And guess what? The king just walked right back in. 4K.
The king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And he found Haman, who sasa, like Makamasi imeanza kutoka vizuri.
What? You mean you'll also harm the queen? Before me? In my house? Can you do something?
Yup. As the word left the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
My king, behold the gallows that Haman dared to make for Mordecai to be hung, therefore stands on Haman's house.
What? Hang him there.
And so, they hanged Haman on the very same gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. Guys, I've been waiting on his downfall.
Tables turned. Story flipped. Justice was finally delivered on a silver platter.
And yeah, in a wild turn of events, the king's wrath was appeased. The story gets boring. Prayer opens the door and wisdom walks right through it.
Messenger, by royal decree, all the Jews may defend themselves from every province. Let word go forth swiftly and without delay.
From mourning to marching orders, and from ashes to armor.
God didn't just rescue his people, he positioned them. Esther rose and Mordecai was lifted. But more than that, the truth stood tall.
And darkness was finally exposed.
It still echoes in me. If I perish, I perish.
Yet you lived, because purpose is stronger than fear.
And when I stood, heaven stood with me.
Your silence could have cost lives, but your voice saved them.
So what now? Was this just a story? Was this just a play?
Or was it a mirror?
Esther's story isn't locked in history. It's living in you.
Maybe you can be the Esther in your family. And maybe you can be the Mordecai in your community.
Maybe God is calling you to stand up in a hard place, to speak up, to lead, and to intercede.
Some stories, they're more than stories. They're mirrors. And today we've seen kings, queens, palaces, pride, justice, and the clash between two kingdoms.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness that lives in this world. And this contest that happened in Persia is just a shadow of the last great conflict between truth and deception.
I stood when the world said bow. I lost my crown, my status, my position, but I kept my soul. And a day will come that you too must make a decision. Will you bow to the decrees of man, or will you stand with the law of God?
I risked my life to speak to the king. But you will be called to speak before kings and rulers, not for one nation's life, but for the faith of the world.
God placed us in the court of Persia for such a time as this. You are placed in this generation for such a time as the end. Let fear not bind your lips when the truth must be spoken.
I tried to build my life with pride and power do not follow my ways. They end in chains.
The book closes here, but history is not done.
Soon, another decree will go out to all the world, not from Persia, but from the powers of the earth in its final rebellion, and it will test every soul.
I lost my crown, but keep your faith.
Speak, even if it costs your life.
Stand, even when the world stands against you.
And the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings. And those that are with him are called, they are chosen, and are faithful.
Today, the war still rages. Not with swords, but with choices. And not in palaces, but in hearts.
And you are not where you are by accident. You are not born by mistake.
It's your turn now. In your church, your home, your world, your workplace, your school. The question still remains. Will you stand?
The great controversy continues, and heaven is watching all of us
For such a time as this.